Good morning, everyone. Still out here in Alaska, 8-inch dredge running behind me. There is a commercial Keene 8-inch dredge up the side of the river up here. We'll sort of give you a bit of a tour, at least as best as I can, of a big commercial 8-inch dredge. I'm just gonna turn the camera forward as I'm walking, bringing you along for the whole hike, I guess. But like, look at this place. Wow. All right, I see the dredge up in the woods. So right behind me, you probably won't even be able to make it out, but right up there is a dredge. As we come along here, I'll just keep her pointed over there, and there you have it. So this right here is a 8-inch Keene dredge, and we're gonna have a look at this together for the first time. I guess Zach's actually selling this to a guy downriver. It's with a machine like this, to get it up here, like just for us to get out here, the camp was already here, the dredge was already here, and we're basically just showing up. I've got my big suitcase there with a wetsuit in it so I can play around in the water and everything. It's an ordeal. So to cart something this size up this river, I guess you wait till the water's a little higher, and then you can get a jet boat in here a lot more easily. You can carry more weight each trip, but man, would this be a hassle to ship in and out. Let's check this thing out. Forgive me for, if you're a professional seasoned dredger, this is just this is through my eyes. We're gonna have a look at what's going on here. I'm gonna take the camera off the tripod, and I'm just gonna switch to a wide angle lens. I am filming on my old cell phone, so I've got like different lenses, and just walking around up close, I'll give you the wide angle. So this doesn't look like a stock feature. Perhaps some testing was being done there. I mean, look at the moss, the Alaskan moss. So it looks like they've got like a little piece of felty carpet to line the tops. And I don't know, yeah, that's got a little bit of flex to the box here. So let's have a look underneath the box. There you go. So steel structure. There's your big steel crossbars. Okay, so that's directly touching the sluice box, and then the sluice has reinforcement pieces like this that are, I guess, welded in. How are those connected? Bolted, right. So this piece is a bent up piece of aluminum, and it is bolted through to the top. If you start welding braces across this sheet metal, it gets all wonky and weird, and obviously Keene has realized that, and they're bolting those braces through, and that's really smart, because when you can weld those into place, but I would go with rivets or bolts or something. Yeah, rivets. Aircraft are made with rivets. Rivets are really, really strong. There's places to weld, places to rivet. So that's pretty cool. Nice bent over top pieces like that adds a lot of strength for the weight. Yeah, I'm just gonna sort of ADD walk around this thing. We're gonna get all excited about all the different things. I'm noticing right here, the back corner of the dredge, this is an air intake for the air system. So it looks like they've placed the engine as far away from the air intake as possible. One of the things I've noticed is I typically just run my exhaust directly straight up, and then whichever direction the wind is blowing, if the exhaust is shooting up high enough, it can actually get up and over your air intake, because the wind will shift throughout the day. And I don't know, yeah, you definitely want to keep those two things apart. Looks like this is off to the side, opposite of this, but yeah, it obviously is quite far away, which should be good. I'm gonna step through the bushes over here. Whoa, bear! All right. So this is like the 3-pound grading. It's like a 3 hashtag expanded metal. It seems like a pretty popular choice for high energy sluice box. I guess everyone in Nome just uses this over a couple layers of moss. Keene really likes this woven wire mesh, and this looks like the stuff in my high banker's 1/2 inch. This looks like probably 3/8 of an inch, and it's supposed to bleed speed really nicely. So you roll all your big rocks on top, so you're not dealing with big rocks down in the riffles, and the actual velocity of the water right here is going to be pretty fast, and when it drops through this, the velocity in the bottom section is going to be a little bit slower, which helps with recovery. And you'll see like a section that has this and then a section that does not. So obviously if there was a big nugget, you'd want the nugget to be able to roll into here. Keene's solution to gold recovery, part of it that I definitely agree with, is that they run a variety, right? So you're going to have riffles up here, the screen section here, more riffles up there, some different types of riffles back there. And it's one of those things where you just throw what you can at it, right? And you get a whole bunch of different things. The only downside with a bigger, longer, better sluice box is cleanups are going to take longer, and you need a lot of flotation and stuff to support that weight. So if you're trying to build a super small, compact machine, well, that's the downside of this. But the upside is, hey, you got a lot of sluice box here, and I mean, the volume of this thing, it's probably holding on to a decent chunk of gold. So that would be the Keene flare. I guess they're Marlex. I think that is made out of the same stuff as these pontoons. Some sort of plastic, but apparently it's super durable. Just like considering all of the moss and stuff we got growing on this dredge, these pontoons look like brand new. So there's obviously some UV inhibitor mixed in, and it's almost like the roto-molded kayaks were made out of this stuff. Hollow, not foam filled, but like solid. Apparently this thing is just stupid heavy, like also heavy duty. But yeah, let's have a look at what this is. Okay, so yeah, it's literally just plastic, but your suction hose is also just plastic. And these are oversized, so this will go around your suction hose, and then I guess this clamps on, and the flexibility in the plastic lets that hook in. It's kind of a cool way to do it. Thickness wise, looks like pretty much bang on a 1/4 inch thick. Flexible. Plastic can be really abrasion resistant too, like you know, compare it to aluminum, and it's actually pretty good at dealing with that. So all of the metal components here are like, they're steel, and I guess it's like nickel plated or something. So you get into the little hardware and bolts and stuff will be kind of rusted and a little bit messed up over a long period of time compared to like stainless, but it does seem to hold out pretty well. So there's the front of the sluice. The flare would go into that. Of course, the classic rusty gold pan. Maybe I'll leave her like that. Okay. What do we got here? We got, whoops. Oh, they just had that off for the, you got your little pulley there for an air system, which would mount here, which is not currently present. Top mount oil filter, but I guess you must, if you screw this off, it must like drain itself into here, and then you just pull it off. That's kind of a nice thing. It's like a Kohler, or yeah, it says Kohler right there. How much power? Oh, it says on top the power. Take your guesses, ladies and gentlemen. How much power are we running on this commercial 8-inch? We are running down there, that 8-inch currently has, I think it was a 23 horsepower Honda V-twin, and it's like a 5-inch intake, 4-inch outlet Dalkey pump. We're very close to max RPM, but you saw the lift on that thing, like it's lifting water way out, and for this experimental design. That's 23 horsepower. This guy right here. We're not kidding around. You got yourself a 1-liter engine with 37 horsepower on it. Running, I'm assuming this is this a P350? No, this looks bigger than that. Let's have a look. This might be the one they mount to their VW engines. It has a cast-in cam lock on the intake, which is really nice to see. Man, Yeah, this is that would be a 5-inch intake and a 4-inch outlet. Got a little like water takeoff here for your hot water system. It's hard to tell. That it looks like this impeller touches right up to here. So by the looks of it, this is a closed face impeller. 6 blades. Man, that is, let me get the light right in here. That is a beefy looking machine right there. And doesn't say on it what it is, but I'm assuming this is their, no, it's not the P350. This is like maybe the 1500 one. That's what it is. So we have a muffler still. Make sure this is showing up on camera there. So we've got the muffler, and then out of the muffler, we have a hot water system. And this hot water system, it comes off the pump, goes up through this beautifully kinked hose, which is obviously something to be, they must have had, like, yeah, there. See the broken stick right there? Look at that. We were doing some science. So that's your hot water in. Hot water comes in at the bottom, and then if this is hot, it would rise up. The exhaust just kicks off the side here. Maybe there's like an extra muffler you could add or something, but I really like if you have a muffler before your hot water, that muffler radiates out a lot of heat, so you get less hot to your hot water system. However, that number right there, 37, you have no shortage of hot coming out of this thing. And it's awesome to keep things a little quieter like that. It's kind of amazing. You just got that little exhaust for all 37 horsepower. It's just a little bit bigger than like a 6 horsepower engine. And then of course you've got an adjustment valve. Ooh, that's really nice. It's like a needle valve here that really lets you dial in the flow rate. And that'll give your hot water probably through, there's got to be some kind of a mixed tank, usually, the little steam escape valve. This looks like your air tank. So when the air compressor was mounted over there, it'd go to your air tank here. Looks like air in and then back out again. Right here, it mounts up. You've got it split into 2. So your jet, which is somewhere around here, is going to be a twin jet coming back in. And then you've got like a high pressure blaster nozzle connection right here with a quarter turn valve. So there's actually some pretty nice hardware. The winch right there, that must mount somewhere along here so that you can actually move this thing up and down the river. Yeah, and Zach said, like, this is a really nice machine. There's your fuel tank for the love machine. Yeah, he said this is a really nice dredge. It was just so heavy and so bulky that, like, even compared to, you look at that dredge down there and it's like, wow, this is a big dredge. Like, it takes 4 of us to try to push it, and we're just using a winch to move it around. But he said this thing's just like so much heavier, just as a result of like how much sluice it has and how it all sets up, that it was just really going to be challenging to pull it out and put it away in a short trip while he was here, which is completely understandable. There is your nozzle, so a swivel nozzle. It's got a little rubber flap right there so you can, cut your suction back a little bit. Obviously it's seen some better days. What else can we say about this thing? I mean, just walking around on it, like, these platforms are very sturdy, but I don't think this is aluminum, and that is like an 1/8 inch plate with the carpet on top. So yeah, just like as a vessel that you're floating around, it's definitely got some weight to it. How long is this thing? Like, if I put about 6, it's got to be 18 to 24 feet long, like, just for the floats. That little aftermarket teepee thing there must be something they're using to winch up and down that pressure hose. I'm trying to find the jet somewhere, because like that flare would connect to here, and then you'd hang the flare off of this frame right here. But then there's going to be an actual like twin jet somewhere around here. More heavy expanded metal. The clean out from this thing must be a significant quantity of like concentrates in terms of like buckets and stuff, which is why you should use the Utmost Adventure high banker as your clean out tool. Ah, where is the jet? Is it underneath? But yeah, I mean, it's a big unit. I think the whole power system up here is just what I think is cool. Like, I just noticed there's a little winch, little hand winch here. So it looks like this frame hangs off the floats, and then it hooks to this, which goes across and hooks down to this. This is the frame that the aluminum sluice box sits on, and it goes all the way down like that. So by the looks of it, the back has a pivot, and then so it stays at a set height, and then here at the front, this whole unit can come up and down based on this, so you can adjust your angle. And then there's a chain on each side, so like you just go a link at a time, and then you set it back down, so the chain is what's holding it. So this thing is like, yeah, it's very, very well built, and I can understand how this thing would weigh like a lot. It's way up here in the trees, but obviously still tied up to some trees, because if we look over here, let me just step over there, all those little branches, the water got all the way up to here, so this river would be absolutely churning along. I'm gonna hop down into the woods here. Yeah, like I pretty much said what I came to say for this video. It's like a little extra float platform here, probably just used to access or something like that. I'm basically just trying to find the actual jet, unless it's living somewhere else. But yeah, this is a good side, as good of a side profile shot as I can get you. There it is. So the front pontoon, like, it's got a slope on it and comes back square, and then a slope on it, comes back square, and then the back pontoon is again the same, but it's reversed, so it's got a slope on the back and meets here. So there's 3 pontoons long, and it looks like each pontoon, I'm gonna guess, is 6 feet. So I put this thing at 18 feet of float length. I'll just walk around the front. Now, later on today, somebody's going to come by and actually pick this thing up and float it down the river. So when this thing gets out floating, I might be able to get you some better shots of it and how it's floating. But yeah, like if I was up here for a season and was like, I'm going to be a commercial miner, I would 100% try to buy a used one here. Just think of the savings getting it shipped up here. And yeah, it looks like a solidly well-built unit. It would just be like, it would be a lot to move it around, right? If you're especially a solo operation, but who's running a solo operation these days, right? You guys are crazy hardcore out here running a dredge like this solo. We'll come along there, everything. So where do they winch the dredge from? Yeah, it looks like they've got it hooked to that. I'm not sure what like the ideal pull point would be on this thing. It doesn't look like there's it's not like there's a special tow hook to just drag the whole dredge. You can kind of just hook onto any of the thick frame members. There you go. That's the In the Woods tour, covered in moss, 8-inch Keene dredge. Like I said, I'm new to seeing this size of hardware, and I just thought it was really interesting to see one of these things in person. So hopefully it was interesting for you. I'm glad I could share. And yeah, I'll get a shot of this thing later. Like, either this is the end of the video, or I'll tack on the end of this video when this thing's floating down the river and we can sort of say goodbye to it and see it float by. I think that would be a nice way to actually end the video. So until then, cheers. Just grab those and I'll just back up on it and I'll carry it. Carry the hoses right there and I'll feed it to you. Yeah, cool. Oh man, you alright? Careful. Everything's slick as fuck. My hands are oily. Marble. jet. I was worried I was going to miss it, but the big 8-inch Keene dredge is just getting pulled into the water now. So it's going to be floating down past this stretch. And with any luck, I'm going to get it on camera. I'm going to get some drone shots of it too. So yeah, we'll see what it's doing up there. This will be awesome. You can watch a video of what the drone sees right there, and then we'll just take off here. How cool is that? How cool is that? And then we can even go and look at us. Anyways, let's fly this bad boy down to go look at the other dredge. All right, so they're going down around the corner. I'm not sure if I can have the get the falls, but we'll see what we can do. It's moving quick.